Hello, everyone. Um, I've been looking at a case earlier today, actually last week, and it was for one of the classes that I teach. Um, and it came up, and I thought it was interesting because there's a dynamic between the mental illness of the individual and really the actions of the police that were investigating this crime. And it kind of struck me because it goes back to um, a time when I was living in Houston, Texas. And in Houston, we have a large and vibrant LGBT plus community. But not too long ago, there were areas in Houston, including Montrose and some other places, and where a lot of people would be frequenting, some of the bars and the discos and dance halls. Yes, I know I'm aging myself by saying disco. I get it before you even start. Regardless, okay, the clubs, if that makes everybody feel better, the clubs there in Montrose that were LGBT plus, and they were, folks would come out and they would be, walking to their vehicles, going home, what have you, and they were being attacked. And there was a big criticism from the Houston or of the Houston Police Department that they were not reacting and patrolling those areas because of the frequent violent crimes that was committed against the community. And you know, that's always stuck with me. And I saw something of a case in England, um, by a gentleman by the name of Stephen Stphen Port. Stephen Port. Okay. And Mr. Port um, was a gentleman that obviously suffers from a number of different, psychological diagnoses. But Stephen Port took it upon himself that he was drugging and raping gay men in his town there in England, and um, moved on from doing that activity to actually killing at least four people, um, four men there. Anthony Walgate, and they deserve their names to be heard. Anthony Walgate, Gabriel Kovari, Daniel Whitworth, and Jack Taylor in Barking, East London. And the reason that I think that this is important is because in forensic psychology, we do a lot of criminal profiling. Okay. The entire point is that if you can list out the number of common denominators of a person's behavior, and you can then match up a series of behaviors with other types of crimes, then you are much more likely to be able to catch that individual, right? Well, that's at least the objective. In this particular case, though, the reason that I brought the Houston PD failure to address these crimes in Montrose was because all of these victims were uh, LGBT plus, okay, and the trail that Stephen Port led to his crimes, man, I mean, you're talking. You probably could have given a sixth grader the same amount of information, and they could have tracked it back to this guy. He left bodies in a cemetery routinely that were within a short walking distance of his house. He left notes. He left all kinds of different clues to things that had going on. Plus, he had raped multiple men before he went into murdering people. And to be able to interview those people consistently, you should have been able to find Stephen Port. And there has been between June 2014 and September 15th, okay, he killed these people. But well before that, for 3 years, he had been drugging and raping a number of gay men for a number of years. And the police never really took the time to investigate these things. And now the Metropolitan Police are actually under investigation themselves because of the negligence to be able to prevent Stephen Port from completely developing as a serial killer. And there was one other thing before I leave you, because you know I like my videos short. I don't want to take too much of your time of the day. There are supposedly he was a trained chef, and he actually appeared on a British television station, and I'm going to find it. If I can find it, I'm going to post it for you. But on like one of these Top Chef type TV shows, but in Britain. And at the time that he was committing these murders, he was actually on like a Top Chef show. So just, put that, into your knowledge database about how easy it is for people to ignore, obvious clues because of their bias, and how important, cognitive bias could be. Think about that. Think about your own cognitive bias. Think about the things that you feel as you go on your journey, looking into forensic psychology. But on that note, I appreciate your time here with me, and we will see you here maybe in a few days. Depends on when next time we post a video. Thank you. Enjoy yourselves.